The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Youmans.
Go! Go! Dallas Cowboys!
It's a Victory Monday on Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company. The NFL, Vegas, a little bit of everyone sprinkled coast to coast. The Carolina Panthers had a chance. They thought they had some life. They thought even with a 3-game losing streak, they were going to give the Cowboys everything they could handle. Not so fast as the Cowboys dominate Carolina. 30-14, the final score. A 30 burger, which feels about as rare as a 40 burger at this point in time.
I like it.
But the Cowboys get it done. They have a phenomenal second half after a pitter-patter ending to the first half. They said, no big deal. We fumbled the ball, gave up an 83-yard touchdown. All that is fine and dandy, but guess what?
What?
We're going to find our stride in the second half. And they made it happen.
Buddy.
So,
Fact.
Cowboys all of a sudden look like one of the better road teams in the NFL, shockingly enough. They're 5-2 on the road. As opposed to 1-6 at home, but we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about that one. Yeah, we can talk about that later. It's fine. It's fine.
Later.
But the Cowboys get it done on the road alongside Patrik Osa Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Tommy Yarrish with Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. Glad you're with us. It was a fun trip out to Charlotte.
It was,
and the Cowboys rewarded the wait.
Yeah, and one thing that was the crux of the Cowboys' struggles is once the defense started to turn up with their takeaways, the offense just would not reward them. Contrarily, they would find ways to go 3 and out and kill long drives with untimely penalties and things like that. And was yesterday perfect? No, because this is still a team that's struggling with a whole lot of adversity. Yeah. But they found a way, this offense did, to continually, more often than not, reward the defense. So when you talk about coming out strong in the third quarter, Panthers' first possession, Panthers' first snap, you got Osa Odighizuwa doing what Osa was doing yesterday. Cowboys offense gets the ball back, get some points on the board. And it kind of second half went from there. And you just love it. I gave Cooper Rush roses yesterday because I was hard on him yesterday, especially after that fumbled handoff. Again, another one. You got to repair that. That cannot happen at this level. It simply cannot. But for the first time ever, Cooper Rush is a man. He's not a machine. He has emotions. Cooper Rush was pissed. He was frustrated at himself. He
see him throw the helmet, throw the hat.
I was like, what is that? Who is that? And then he used that fire in the second half to kind of repair that mistake, especially because it cost the Cowboys that 83-yard touchdown to Coker.
14-point swing.
14-point swing. So, I mean, the defense came to play some ball against a highly confident Bryce Young. We talked about it going into the matchup. Bryce Young in that offense and the defense. They almost upset the Panthers, the Bucks, the Eagles, all playoff teams. Short week for the Cowboys coming off a gutting loss against the Bengals. Also losing to Marvion Overshown, which is equivalent to just somebody reaching in your chest and pulling your heart out. My question was, which team would respond? Like, which version of the Cowboys would show up? I like the version that showed up. This version that showed up has a lot of fight on them, and that was fun to watch.
Yeah, it's good taking advantage of a bad team.
I was,
But when you're a bad team,
you, with the talent that you have, regardless of who is on IR, who is not on IR,
agreed.
You have to be able to take advantage of really bad teams. Yeah. This is a bad team from the jump. Like they started as a bad team.
That's fair.
1-7.
And are now ending. I mean, of course, they had a few
Lost
games
4
there
straight.
where, yeah, exactly.
They were playing better football. We talked about it.
Playing
I
better
don't
football.
want anyone saying, "Oh, well, it was the Panthers you were supposed to know." Actually, the Panthers
It's
were
gonna be
favorites.
They took the Eagles to the wire. They almost beat
They
the
took the
Chiefs.
Right,
They
so-
were playing really good football, and Bryce Young was actually playing really well. He had some confidence behind him, and you saw that come through. Even the first half, they were marching the ball down the field, and it's not until Maris Liufau absolutely ends that drive.
That was huge.
Maris Liufau.
Say it one more time.
Maris Liufau.
That guy's a dog.
Ooh, so I don't know.
That guy's a dog. A luck of the Irish.
It's part of the bloodline, if you will. Actually, I don't know. I'm just kidding. But
Shout out Saturday Night Main Event.
all right. Well, it's not until he ends that drive where you're like, okay, finally, the defense is doing something.
That was big.
To take advantage of this team, and that's what really turned the game around. However, you give it back to them at the end of the first half, and you have that 14-point swing.
You gave them a chance.
You gave it.
You did.
That
And then you
83-yard.
took it back.
It would have been 17 zip at halftime.
That 83-yard touchdown. I haven't even gone back to watch it.
I've watched
It was gross.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't
I've
want to see it
watched
again. I never want to see
I
it
know
again.
who blew the coverage, but continue.
Control Alt Delete my brain, dude. I'm not ready to see that again. I don't want to know what happened because that was just a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Somebody took the bait. That's all I'll
The
say.
offense let them, it just gave it back
saw
to
it.
them. The defense had the ball, or had a chance to stop them, did not stop them. Obviously, a really, really, really bad play, but you take a breather, you take halftime, you come back, and you persevere, and you just
And you feed CD Lamb.
bully.
And you hand off the ball to Rico Dowdle.
You bully Bryce Young, man. You give him a noogie, dude, on live TV. You little guy.
You got him, man.
It was rough for
Purple
the.
nurple.
All right.
It was
They're in Carolina, dude. It's
bullying
fine.
is not good. I'm not.
Yeah, we're not condoning that.
No, of course not. But that's what you did on live television to another human being, and that's all right. I'll take it. It was nice to see the defense come back and play really well and bully the Panthers.
If I had told you guys
Right here.
4 or 5 weeks into the season, if I'd asked you, you think Dallas is going to have a 1,000-yard rusher this season?
Oh, not
Oh,
a chance.
absolutely
Guarantee
not.
Not a
everybody here
chance.
would say,
Not a
I
absolutely
would have
not.
said that. Dude. Are
There you go.
kidding me?
Josh might have just because he's been on the
gotta say it
Rico Dowdle bandwagon.
There you go. Yeah, well, that music should be playing louder after Sunday.
Crank it,
Crank
Beaver.
it, Chris. Crank, there you go. 3 straight weeks where he's at a career high in rushing 149 times. Mike McCarthy has said week in and week out, we need to give this guy the ball more. We need to give this guy the ball more.
And
We
they
need to
finally
give this
did
guy
it.
the ball more. They finally gave him 25 touches, 6 yards a carry, still no rushing touchdown, but doesn't matter. He set them up for success offensively the entire day. Man, you got to give this guy his flowers. And he wants 1,000 yards so bad. Last week in the locker room, somebody had asked him, he's like, so Rico, do you know how much you need for 1,000? He was like, 260 something. He was like, so how many is that at 65.7? And he
like, you're
just
on
knew
it.
everything that he needed to get to that mark. Now, I think he's only 120 yards away with 3 games left. So that is a very attainable milestone. And that's something that he wants. So tip of the hat to Rico Dowdle because he set up, I feel like, Cooper Rush for those 3 touchdown plays. Those
100%.
the 2 throws that he made to Jalen Brooks and to Jalen Tolbert were phenomenal.
Yes.
But at the same time, you give Cooper Rush his flowers. He managed the game well. That's what he's going to do. He's going to manage the game well for you. But there are still some moments where you're just like, oh man, it's the backup quarterback stuff. And granted, it is incredibly valuable to have a backup quarterback like Cooper Rush, who is experienced, who can manage your offense, and who can win you games. He's won 3 out of the last 4 for this team, or helped them win 3 out of the last 4. But the play that stuck out to me was, I think it was in the first half, they had a crosser to CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee was wide open. He had his man beat, and he had the sideline to work with, get upfield, and maybe score a touchdown.
Yep.
Bad throw.
And he just throws it way behind him. And CD was frustrated.
You
Cooper
could see
was
the body
frustrated.
language from CD.
Yeah, it was, and there were more than one of those throws, and even the touchdown to CD. I mean, that's just an alpha wide receiver adjustment mid route to come back to the ball and make that catch.
Oh, yeah.
Fall behind him and everything. Yeah. that was
Yeah,
crazy.
so
Nasty work.
you tip your cap to Cooper Rush, but there's still things that need to work there. And then I'll end with the defense. I mean, I wrote in Here We Go coming into this game that a big part of what decides this is who's going to win on the ground. They held Chuba Hubbard to 32 yards on 10 carries.
Yes.
That's a 1,000-yard rusher right there. That's a guy who had caught fire these last couple of weeks and was a big reason why Carolina was hanging around with the Eagles and the Chiefs and stuff like that. So tip of the cap to Mike Zimmer. I think his defense is really coming along here in the back half of the season.
And this is, to Tommy's point, yesterday was such an up-and-down ride for Cooper Rush, and there were those moments like the fumble snap, the errant throws to a wide-open CeeDee Lamb, where you really just did the forehead slap, where you're just like, oh, come on. Yeah. But even, I mean, I put the accountability on Mike McCarthy as well on that fumble snap, because if you're going to go play action or read option, where's Trey Lance in the package like that? You have a read option quarterback that you could probably use in those situations. So
I was going to say no.
I'm acknowledging you.
I completely understand. Yeah, if you're running a read option, Trey Lance should be in the game. I don't think that was a read option to the point where I think that was he jumps it off to the flat and the tight end. But I completely agree with you. I mean, you know,
in those red zone packages like that, it'd be nice to see some Trey Lance sprinkled in.
Absolutely.
But
they tried. They have tried.
They have tried. But to Cooper Rush,
at the same time, though, whenever you bring in Trey Lance in a red zone package, you're showing what you're about to run.
He has an arm.
Not a good one,
but it's attached to his body
somehow.
I mean, good enough for 5 yards.
He hasn't played very much. I don't know that for sure. I don't know, but that's
show me the shoulder. Let me make sure it's
If you're throwing him in the game, you would have to sprinkle him in different situations. You can't just put him in and say read option.
Yes.
They won the game yesterday,
No,
Patrick.
But we're talking about the ups and downs.
We are talking about ups and downs.
But I was also going to use that as kind of a segue to giving the roses back to Cooper Rush, because, again, he could have let the fumble snap defeat him. He could have let the errant throws defeat him. But instead, what does he do in the second quarter? 3rd and 8. Completion to Lamb for 20 yards. 3rd and 3, completion to Lamb, deep right. That was a 28-yarder. And then in the red zone, 3rd and 4, the touchdown to Lamb. Now, that was a bad throw, but Lamb helped him out on that. If he and Lamb can just get on the same page, because over the past several weeks, that's the biggest crux of their issues. They've not been able to get on the same page, timing, route-wise, and I get it. Backup quarterback to wide receiver 1, you don't get a lot of those reps unless QB1 is out of the picture.
Yes.
But we're now more than a month in. You would expect to not see those mistimings and miscommunications. So hopefully they kind of get more on the same page. But at least we saw more and more of them being on the same page yesterday.
And that's not to mention the dot that he threw to Jalen Brooks as well in the back of the end zone.
Best throw of his year, maybe career.
Best throw of his career that I have seen so far.
Because he was double covered on the inside, and Brooks just worked free. The fact that Rush had to freelance initially, but he knew at that point, because of the drag route and the way that system was filled, no one's going to be there from that hash mark. So then it's a foot race.
Exactly.
Back of the end zone is a foot race between he and Jalen Brooks, or Jalen Brooks and the other two corners at that point. And so he's like, you know what? Let's just put it out there. And sure enough, Jalen Brooks adjusted to the ball too, just like CeeDee Lamb did, but it was a better throw. He didn't have to do nearly as much. That was a dot.
And shout out to wide receivers coach Robert Prince, because he is clearly, I don't know if he's taking these guys to ballet classes or whatnot, but when you talk about Jalen Brooks' touchdown and Jalen Tolbert's touchdown, these guys, they know how to get those toes down.
Before I get really give enough flowers to Robert Prince, I would like to see more than one reception from guys like Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks.
Absolutely.
They had a touchdown, and they were both great, but that was the only catch that they had.
That's more a combination of the play caller and the quarterback going through his reads and either seeing them or not seeing them.
Maybe so.
But yeah, I don't put that on Robert Prince. I think in this capacity, he's doing his job in training up the guys and coaching up the guys. And then once they're on the field, it's here's the play, and if the play is supposed to go to them, or maybe they're the second or third read, does Cooper Rush get to the second or third read? So I think that's a more.
And I'm okay with the way that they divvied up targets yesterday. CeeDee Lamb should get 70% of your targets because he's CeeDee Lamb. Okay. And that's 8%. Why even more so. But
90%.
Let's keep it going. Because he could have he had 116 yards receiving yesterday.
Then you defeat
with a couple of good throws. He's at 150 yards or more, and maybe 2 touchdowns as well. So I'm okay with feeding CeeDee Lamb significantly, but if there's a number 2 guy, it's still Brandon Cooks. Jake Ferguson, I think he's still kind of working his way back in. He hasn't been super impactful as a pass catcher. But outside of that, it's really been who's going to step up this week. Is it going to be Kevontae Turpin, or is it going to be Luke Schoonmaker? Is it going to be Jalen Tolbert? We haven't seen a consistent number 3 guy to this point.
Exactly that consistency, because you did see Tolbert. Obviously, he caught a touchdown that was great. But earlier in the game, I think it was the first half, he had a very crucial drop.
Down drop.
Yes.
To me,
And we've seen that before.
That's what you've seen with Jalen Tolbert. You see, a great play followed up by a really terrible play. I mean, it's just the inconsistency is there for sure. But Jonathan Mingo, guys, remember we traded a 4th-round pick for him.
You talk about
name.
talk about 2 guys who can't get on the same page. Jonathan Mingo and Cooper Rush cannot get on the same page.
0 stats yesterday. He did not make any stats whatsoever. I mean, that's for him to go back to Carolina and not have a single catch, to me is a real detriment to the outlook
that was
of his
because
season.
the hometown guy was getting Jalen Brooks.
I mean,
Well, he had 1 target and 1 catch. It's not like it.
I was being facetious.
Yeah, I mean, the hometown guy that was getting the rock was Rico Dowdle. That's who was getting
There's a lot
the
of
rock.
hometown
who
cooking for those
averaged
guys.
6 yards a carry yesterday, which is insane.
It was a lot of hometown cooking because Rico, Jalen Brooks, and then Izzy, those Carolina boys.
That's right. I forgot about Izzy with the pick.
interception. Yeah, those Carolina boys cooked up in Carolina yesterday.
It was much better than the Carolina guys on the opposite side, like
Yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney and Xavier Legette. Yeah,
Not so much.
no, not as
so
much.
much.
It's more
J.C.
like we're
Horn.
the Carolina
You know what?
team? I don't know.
Jadeveon Clowney tried to impact the game early on. Shouts out to guys like Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass for shutting that down. And especially when Chuma Edoga went down with injury. And once Edoga went down, my eyes went right to Tyler Guyton. I was glued to Guyton for the remainder of that game. And Guyton arguably had the best, if not one of the best games of his.
He fought
his
his
rookie
ass
season.
off.
He
That was the
absolutely
first
did.
thing I thought when I looked back at it this morning and going back through
was
it. I was
doing
like,
some
okay,
things.
it
He was
wasn't
doing some
perfect.
things. No,
wasn't
but
perfect.
But it was damn good.
But he
Because
was
even when
fighting.
you go back and you look at the touchdown, I think it was the Jalen Brooks touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. Cooper Rush flushed himself out to the right. He actually didn't need to, because Tyler Guyton had a wall over there on the left side, on the blind side. So that's a perfect example of it. And I understand why Cooper Rush would would flush out, because it's kind of been uneven on the blind side.
It was a broken play.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he had the opportunity to stand there. My main point is Tyler Guyton, that's what we want to see. That's what he wants to see. And I just look forward to him being healthy and being able to produce, because the kid's been beat up, man. He
didn't have a full offseason. We've talked about that many times. I mean, he was just training the entire offseason.
But the offensive line looked good again. But as goes the Cowboys this season, injury bug doesn't like when nice things happen to Dallas. So TJ Bass.
Don't remind me.
I have to remind you. No. So TJ Bass goes out. What was TJ Bass?
Thigh
With the thigh injury. So he's being monitored.
All he needed was like 20 or he had 27 snaps. The rest of the offensive line had 29. That means he was about 2 snaps away.
So close.
Just to getting out of there healthy.
So now we'll wonder as the week goes on what it looks like against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But
Can't have nice things.
You
Number
put
24.
Chuma Edoga goes in after going out with injury, comes back in, goes in at right guard, and we've said on this podcast before, and I believe that Chuma Edoga is a better guard than tackle. But they still were able to protect, and they still were able to carve lanes for Rico Dowdle, and then Dowdle did the rest. So, again, I can't stress enough, man, there were so many moments in that game. Talk about the fumble, talk about the 83-yard touchdown, talk about how frustrated Turpin could have been at Jalen Brooks for not completing that block on that particular drive, because that would have been – he could have cribbed that. Offense comes out, and they end up scoring a touchdown on that drive with multiple third down conversions. The team had a lot of reasons to give up yesterday, and they just refused to.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that is encouraging to me the most. Not necessarily for playoff hopes or anything like that. I think we've pretty much hit that's not in your hands anymore, but you got to build your momentum either way. When we come back around talking Cowboys, I want to talk about that moment. The fact that a lot of the shine has gone to the offense in this win, but this was still a defensive win for the Cowboys. Mike Zimmer continues to put his guys in the right spots despite losing 2 starters for the season over the last 7 days. We've got more to talk about when we come back on Talkin Cowboys.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this portion of the show is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, trusted since 1877. Friendly reminder that the 2024 Fan of the Year is presented by Captain Morgan. Be sure to get your votes in online for the Cowboys Fan of the Year. All right. Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Tommy Yarrish. I'm Kyle Youmans. Tommy, I'm going to start with you on this one. The Cowboys, at multiple points yesterday, put up phenomenal numbers offensively. We talked about CeeDee Lamb. We talked about Rico Dowdle. Even Cooper Rush with the 3 passing touchdowns and some of the throws that he made. Despite a rough first half, he found a way to slow it down, have some consistency, and piece together significant drives in the second half. But at the end of the day, when you needed a big turnover to start the game, you had Maris Leah foul, punch the football out. Boom, turnover, takeaway. Cowboys get the ball, Panthers off the board. When the Panthers had all the momentum to start the second half, they had just scored on an 83-yard touchdown following the Cooper Rush fumble. They've got all that momentum. They've got the football. They can drive and take the lead. You know what happens? The first play of the drive, Osa Odighizuwa gets in there. By the way, Osa Odighizuwa, the fact that we're in the second segment, and that's the first time we've said your name today, I apologize because you were all over the field yesterday.
No, I said it.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Well, thank goodness Patrick's on this show. That's why they pay him the big bucks. I don't believe you. I will have to go back and review. However, the defense as a whole still making the plays that you need to get it done. And if you take one special teams blunder out of the way, you're at 7-7 because of the way this Cowboys defense has been playing. How much credit deserves to go to Mike Zimmer because of all of that?
Oh, a ton of it. A ton of it. I mean, when you look at the way they started this season, I think you clearly saw a bunch of guys trying to adjust from one scheme to another. And we even heard some of the players talk about it. Trayvon Diggs was vocal about, hey, we're still trying to slow this system down for us. We're still trying to get acclimated to this, and we're still trying to pick up the verbiage and where we need to be and how we can play fast once we know where to be. Well, now everybody knows where to be, and you're seeing why Mike Zimmer's been in the NFL for so long. You're seeing why he's been credited with having such great defenses. 4 turnovers yesterday. Mike McCarthy said that they come in bunches after they were negative 10 in the turnover margin just a couple of weeks ago, which is completely uncharacteristic for a Mike McCarthy team, much less a Mike Zimmer team. And so now I think they've got that number down to -5. So slowly but surely they're coming back into this. But, well, when
small victories, baby.
Cooper Rush's, one fumble a game is kind of helping you, not really helping you move in the right direction.
Hold on to the rock,
unfortunately. Coop. Yeah, come on, man. He did say after the game that he's like, I don't know what's going on, but I got to fix it.
Yeah.
So But yeah, Mike Zimmer deserves a lot of credit, and I think he deserves more credit because of the personnel that he has had to work with. You lose your superstar in your rising superstar in DeMarvion Overshown. Trayvon Diggs is out. I think his third game of the season that he's been out.
And it's not like he's been healthy all season.
No,
either.
he hasn't.
Like he's missed a few games already.
Absolutely not. You missed Deron Bland for half of the season. Jordan Lewis gets banged up yesterday. You've got Eric Kendricks trying to lead this linebacker room.
Who's been dealing with a shoulder all season.
Exactly. Micah Parsons is out for a majority of the year. DeMarcus Lawrence has been
of Sam Williams
available. No Sam Williams. And so, you've got to have a guy like Carl Lawson step up. I think that's one of the bigger success stories for Mike Zimmer on this team.
Weekly, we keep talking about it.
He's playing phenomenal football. So, yeah, Mike Zimmer deserves a ton of credit. And obviously the record's not going to reflect it. We can say, yeah, this team should be 7-7, which they should, but the reality, unfortunately, is they're not. And so there's nothing you can do about that. But this defense has come a very long way. And credit to Micah Parsons because he called it a couple of weeks ago. He was like, by the end of the year, everybody's going to say this is a damn good defense, and it's looking like it right now.
Everybody called him crazy for it, too.
And back to Carl Lawson really quickly. He started the season on the practice squad.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people give him enough credit for battling back from not necessarily being in shape at training camp, going to the practice squad, and now coming back. And he's only benefited because of, he's extra benefited because of Micah Parsons coming back into the fold. Micah Parsons has been a leader on defense, a vocal leader, not only, but he's showing it on the field too. Jordan Lewis's sack on the day was because Micah Parsons was lined up over center, drops into coverage, which they're like, wait a second, he can do that. And Jordan Lewis cleans up in one of the best plays I've seen from the defense all year. And you could just see it's working. Like, did you see Jordan Lewis's celebration after that play?
Absolutely.
Just like, he does a jump man, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like,
he let it out.
It's all coming to fruition. The defense how it should be, and like Tommy just said, Micah Parsons called it a few weeks ago. He's like, by the end of this year, you're going to say, man, that was a good defense.
I'm giving Mike Zimmer a ton of credit because one of the biggest issues with the defense over the first half of the year was that he was trying to figure out the personnel set. So he was trying to run his scheme, but I think we talked about it a couple of times when talking Cowboys. There's, the Jimmies and Joes and their X's and O's. Which one do you want to give more credence to? I personally would say tailor your scheme to a player, but Zimmer initially was trying to tailor players to the scheme. Now what you're seeing is him putting guys in position to excel in ways that they can excel.
Because he knows who they are.
Right. And in being able to do that, you'll see that, yes, you lose DeMarvion Overshown and guts the heart of the defense, right out of the middle of the defense. But then Maris Leofau was able to step right in and do that and do what he's doing now. Micah Parsons, he's back. He's thriving. Trayvon Diggs, you're missing him for some games, but then guess what? You coach up a guy like Josh Butler. Unfortunately, you lose him after he has that breakout game, but that it all goes to the Carl Lawsons of the world, Chauncey Golstons of the world. Got to shout out Chauncey Golston as well, because all these edge rushers we talk about, Mike Zimmer lost and the Cowboys lost, they've been able to now, on the back half of the season Mike Zimmer has, look at his group and say, okay, we don't look the same way we did in August. I got to figure out, what does Kyle do best? What does Tommy do best?
Yep.
What does Josh do best? And those are the positions I'm going to put you in, instead of trying to shoehorn you in somewhere else. And then I'm just going to let you play free and think less frequently and be more of a ball player and less of a scientist in real time, right? And these guys are now flying around. Jordan Lewis with that misdirection sack in combination with Micah Parsons. Jordan Lewis with the insanely wonderful coverage in the slot against Adam Thielen. Tips that ball up is Eric Kendricks, who comes down with his second interception of the season, right?
So good.
And the list goes on and on. Osa Odighizuwa continues to wreck shop more and more in the back half of the season after having a slow start to the front half of the season, because he wasn't necessarily being placed in positions to excel as much as he was being placed in a spot to do a job. So now he's playing free. He's looking like 2023 and 2022 Osa. And like Micah said yesterday when I asked him about Osa, not only did he say he's hard-pressed to, compliment a person who's better at being a human being and a leader and a veteran than Osa, but as Osa continues to wreck shop, it makes Micah's job easier. It makes Marshawn's job easier, so forth and so on. So Osa is becoming the straw that stirs the drink in the middle of that defensive line, as he was the past couple of seasons, and that makes everything to the left, right, and behind him work that much more freely. So shouts out to Zimmer. things are just clicking. And shouts out to the Cowboys locker room because they were never not bought in. Everything just had to marry together.
Yep.
No one's quitting. No one's giving up. No one's getting suspended for, actions detrimental to the team. Hi, San Francisco.
That was alrighty then. One more thing here, really quick.
Yeah.
Just because this is something I kind of noticed yesterday, and you guys helped me out with names here. How about some credit for Will McClay and Mike McCarthy's staff?
Yep.
The amount of undrafted free agents.
We talked about it on the postgame show.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was
that
big.
had an impact in this game. Brock Hoffman.
Yep.
Yeah.
TJ Bass. Rico Dowdle.
Yep. You've got Brevin Spann-Ford that
Brevin
was on the field for a
Spann-Ford.
little bit. You had Cooper Rush. I mean,
Cooper Rush is a great. I think there was
free agent.
I think there was one point where there were for offensively there were seven or eight
on the touchdown to Jalen Brooks. There were seven undrafted free agents on the field.
I mean,
amazing.
To be and Cooper Rush said in the postgame, if you're good, they'll find you. And the Cowboys have done a phenomenal job of finding pieces. Now these aren't all-world game-breaking pieces, but they're helping you win games.
Contributors.
They're helping you win games.
Contributing
And
to wins for
to
sure.
be able to find that in the undrafted free agent market where it's so hit or miss, and frankly more often miss than it is hit, they're hitting at a high level.
Yeah.
I have an evil question.
Oh, evil.
I have an evil.
You?
I have an evil question.
Oh no.
I don't know if this would lead into the next break, but we know what the salary cap situation is going to be.
Yes.
You know that two of your key defensive players are on 1-year deals currently.
I don't like you, Josh
They're on their final year of their final year of their deal.
You're talking about Osa
Odighizuwa and Jordan Lewis.
Oh God.
If you could only keep one.
I don't subscribe to that because you can keep both.
If you can only keep one, that is the evil question, Patrick.
No.
Don't cheat.
You can keep
Hey,
Patrick.
how about you don't
hates
cheat?
hypotheticals.
He really does,
Yeah.
and he loves cheating. He loves getting out of things.
I like theories and evidence, and the evidence supports the theory that they both can be retained.
But this is a hypothetical, not a thetical.
Yes,
this is an actual hypothetical. We're not talking about actual theory here.
If you have to keep one, and I love both equally as far as
tough.
this is tough. But I'm going to just defer back to my.
Osa's playing himself into a gigantic contract.
I'm going to defer back to my belief that you build a defense front to back.
Okay.
In which case,
which is fair.
Gun to my head, it's Osa. However, salary cap wise and tier of free agency, you can keep both. I answered your question.
But you did answer.
Do you believe that we will keep both?
Honestly, I don't see how you.
Yeah.
It's more like it's more likely. It's more likely that Jordan Lewis, as far as probabilities, it's more likely that Jordan Lewis is the retention. As far as probabilities goes, it's more likely that Jordan Lewis is the retention because Osa is going to command a pretty dollar. He's not a market setter though, so that'll work. In his favor.
I'll play devil's advocate here just because
evil and devil.
I know it's a Monday morning. At this point in the season, Osa's playing phenomenal football. Don't get me wrong. But there's only one of those two guys that with a winning record, I think, and I full-heartedly believe this, if the Cowboys had a winning record, Jordan Lewis would be in the Pro Bowl.
100%.
He's had Pro Bowl caliber play all the way through the 14 games we've played this season. He's been Pro Bowl caliber in all of them, and he's been relatively healthy. I think he missed 1 or 2 games.
Right.
He's been relatively healthy, and he's been great. Despite some of the ups and downs in the secondary, he has been, with 2 All-Pros around him, he has been the steady piece on that secondary. I would give the nod to Jordan Lewis for a Pro Bowl vote. If, of course, Pro Bowl voting is open, you should go vote for him because he has the caliber to do it.
Right now.
However, his contract's probably not going to be what Osa's is because high-level interior defensive linemen and possible pass rushers will get a prettier penny. So I think it's more likely, and I think in the grand scheme of things, it would be just as impactful to keep a Jordan Lewis in that situation, in that hypothetical. I would love to keep both because I think Osa is ascending, and I think Jordan Lewis is despite being in his second or third contract now, he's still moving in the right direction as well. Both of those guys will play well through their next contract.
And a leader too.
And they're both
right. And pre-draft, as we have this conversation, you also don't have an immediate replacement for either.
No, you do not.
So keep that in
And
mind.
you haven't had a whole lot of success in D tackles.
Tommy Yarrish?
Well, it's a pretty easy answer for me. I would say Osa. And that's nothing against Jordan Lewis. I mean, Jordan Lewis is a important locker room piece. He's an important secondary piece. It's difficult to find a good nickel corner in the NFL that's going to play as well as Jordan Lewis has. And he's played outside well, too, when he's needed to. Yeah. But I'm a big believer in this league and in every level of football, you win at the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Osa Odighizuwa is winning a lot at the line of scrimmage. He's also 3 years younger. Mm-hmm. And Jordan Lewis has been, not like he's been ravaged by injuries, but he's been a little banged up this season. We haven't seen Osa Odighizuwa on a lot of injury reports or anything like that.
Dude.
So, I know, knock on wood.
Come on,
Come on, man.
Okay, it's not going to be my fault.
You know what this means.
I'm just saying. Look, I'm just pointing out facts. I'm not predicting anything like that. But obviously you want to keep them both. But then again, you look towards this offseason, you've got those two guys. You've got Micah Parsons, which is going to take up a big amount of your salary cap. So, tough decisions are going to be made. But like I said, I think you build through the trenches. If you're going to bring Micah Parsons back, which the Cowboys absolutely should, then why not pair him with another elite defensive tackle who can also get after the quarterback and who's been playing some of his best ball? Frankly, you could consider him for a Pro Bowl nod. Maybe not this year, but if he keeps playing like he has the last few weeks, he could definitely be there next year.
He could absolutely be there. You just got to see it through the entire season. And I think from a steady hand standpoint, Jordan Lewis has been consistent.
Absolutely.
Whereas Osa has flashed. I mean, yesterday he was as disruptive as anybody in terms of a front seven in the NFL up against a Carolina team that's not super great in their own right, but their offensive line had been playing well until they saw Osa Odighizuwa and Micah Parsons.
And Bryce Young is mobile.
The answer is
couldn't get away.
By the way.
You think it's Osa too?
It's Osa for all the reasons Tommy just said.
I like
it's
it.
Osa Odighizuwa.
No, I think it's great. And the evil thing about this,
let Jordan Lewis retire a Cowboy.
The very evil thing about this is that we still have 3 games left, and we have an entire offseason that we could have this conversation, and we will have this conversation.
Of course.
When we get to it. That's the real evil thing. All right. When we come back, did Jordan Lewis or Osa Odighizuwa do enough to earn a smelly sticker? Ooh. We'll have our smelly stickers, our players of the game, when we come back with more Talkin' Cowboys.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions?
For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this segment is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome back in, everybody, alongside Tommy Yarrish, Josh Rodriguez, Patrik Walker, Chris Beam in the back here on this Victory Monday. I'm Kyle Youmans. It is time now for our smelly stickers of the game. Mm-hmm. Which smelly sticker are you going with? Who's going to be your player of the game yesterday? There are a couple guys that deserve some stickers, and by a couple, I mean a lot of guys. You had a 100-yard receiver, you had a 100-yard and almost 150-yard rusher, you had a interception from a hometown guy, you had an interception from a savvy linebacker veteran. You got a lot of ways you can go yesterday. Multiple sacks from Michael Parsons. We'll start with you, Patrik Walker. Who are you thinking?
I'm going to go with a peach.
Okay.
Going with a peach.
That's pretty peachy.
Yeah. There's the peach. And this peach goes to Rico Dowdle.
Rico! Bing, bing,
The
bing,
reason
bing, bing.
Rico Dowdle gets a peach is because even though Kyle stole my bar, I'll say it again, everything is looking peachy for Rico Dowdle right now.
Nice.
Not one 100-yard game, not a back-to-back 100-yard game, but the hat trick.
Bang!
There it is.
Another career day. You can't say that.
You can't?
Rico Dowdle, the first player for the Cowboys to rush for 3 games of at least 100 yards since Ezekiel Elliott did it back in 2019. He is cooking with fish grease. So keep handing him the ball, and he will continue to do great things.
What's the difference between fish grease and regular grease?
Oh man, that's a conversation. Fish grease. We got
Oh man,
chicken grease,
bacon grease,
bacon grease.
Yeah. That's a whole nother level.
There's all the difference, and you can't convince.
Is he at bacon grease yet?
No, he's at fish grease. That's the hottest.
That's highest.
Fish
okay.
grease on the black urban scale. Of grease temperatures in Kelvin degrees. Fish grease is the hottest. Rico Dowdle.
You got to use like a cutting board.
Welcome back to Talking
yourself.
Grease.
Interesting. Yeah. Also, I love how you wore the Black
word.
Panther shirt today.
Wakanda
I'm sure
forever.
that was a thought process behind
Wakanda
it.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rico Dowdle, he's cooking up something nice.
I'm saying because we beat the Panthers.
Yeah. Oh no, it was absolutely.
That was a thought process.
100%.
Okay, good.
All right, boys. I think I need to give some credence, some love. I mentioned it earlier, but Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
You see this guy here? It's a pineapple. He's wearing sunglasses, or he's wearing glasses.
Glasses, yeah.
Kind of looks like Tommy's glasses over there.
Oh, nice. That's Tommy the pineapple.
He's studied. He's a studious pineapple. He studied. He knew where to attack them. And he's so sweet. He made him taste it. Shouts to Micah Parsons with the pineapple. Absolutely killing it. Shouts to you, buddy. There's your smelly sticker.
He definitely didn't press pause on his way to the
No, he did not. He made him taste it.
yesterday. Did not.
All right, so I got regular schmegular strawberry here.
A regular
What about-
schmegular.
What do you guys like about strawberries? They're sweet.
They're sweet.
They smell great.
They look
They're
like a
good for
grandpa's
you.
nose.
They're
Sure, I guess.
You know what I mean?
They're good for
What?
Wait,
that makes it very unappetizing.
yeah. Wait, what?
I don't know.
I know where he's going with that. It's-
I don't necessarily agree with that.
That's
but
what I
if I
think of when
do
I think
either.
of strawberries. It just looks
You
like
think
an old
you
dude's
think of
nose.
an old guy's nose?
Yeah.
Really?
Interesting.
That's what you get.
Very porous nose.
All right.
That's
Well,
that's
my
unfortunate.
thing
I hate
is
that for
they're
you.
good for you. And CeeDee Lamb is good for the Dallas offense. He is the first Cowboy ever to have 4 1,000-yard receiving seasons in his first 5 years in the NFL. 116 yards, a touchdown, 9 catches on 13 targets. He should have had more. CeeDee Lamb, you're good for this offense just like strawberries are good for you, my friend.
Get after him. Get after it. I like it. All right. So you went with Rico Dowdle.
I did. Rico.
You went with Micah Parsons.
Of course.
You went with CeeDee Lamb. I like it. Do you guys know what the state fruit of Carolina is?
I do, but I'm not going
fruit.
to stomp on you.
What is it?
What is it?
You know what it
Patrick?
is?
Hold on. I think I forgot.
You think you forgot?
I know what it is.
No, I did.
He doesn't. He does not know.
There's no way you knew it.
It's okay.
Yeah, science.
It's not a peach. That's Georgia, right?
No, absolutely.
Okay,
Come
good. The state fruit of North Carolina
What? Are you serious?
is a
Stop.
yet, is a Scuppernong grape, otherwise known as a green grape.
The best grapes.
differently,
The
though,
best
but
type of grapes,
We
yes.
call it a scorpion.
Whatever the hell it's called, I don't even know. But it's a green grape is what it is. That's what the state fruit of North Carolina is. And if you look on this grapevine, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are 27 grapes, pressures on that grapevine. I'm going to give this to the defensive front seven. You had Eric Kendricks with a pick. You had Osa Odighizuwa with multiple sacks. Carl Lawson made some impact. I'm giving it to the front seven in general because they had all those pressures all cooked up against Bryce Young. He was never comfortable. It leaned into takeaways. It leaned into mistakes. 6 sacks, 4 takeaways. Give me the front seven to say, you know what? I've got the grape now, and I'm making all sorts of wine.
When life gives you
Post-game,
grapes,
baby.
give them raisins.
Give them wine.
I don't know.
Life gives you grapes.
I'm stomping on those grapes, making some wine. That's what it is.
Give them an
But
old man's nose.
Cowboys get the win, 30-14. Hope you had fun with us today.
We certainly did.
Yeah, we had some fun, no doubt about it. But yeah, the state grape or the state fruit is. How do you call it? What do you call it again?
Well, in the South, we pronounce it scorpion.
Scorpion. That's probably what it is. SCUPPERNONG.
I'm confident we are wildly
in Texas.
mispronouncing
We call
it.
them green.
They call them grapes.
No, but they're not grapes though. They're not grapes because they grow like one of those scorpionines is like 3 times the size of a normal size grape, and they're sweeter than grapes. So, and I say this because especially those that are from the deep South, if you've ever tasted one, then you know the difference. And they have those trees that grow and whatnot. So we used to pick them off the tree and just take them in like a basket back to like my grandma's house. And we're not, no.
It can be used to make it can be used to make jams, jellies,
It's
or
so
wine.
good. It's so good.
So there you go.
It's big. It's sweet.
Versatile.
There's nothing
just like
better.
your defensive front seven.
There's nothing better than grape jelly.
Is that
There's nothing better than grape jelly.
Is that
In
the
terms
Tommy
of jelly
Yarrish?
flavors, that's the best.
That's
the best.
not
Give
true.
me apricot.
That's not
Apricot jelly?
Grape jelly?
Apple and strawberry. Absolutely.
Strongly disagree.
Absolutely will
Strongly
run
disagree.
grape to
I'm
the
a
wire.
grape jelly guy
Strongly
too.
disagree.
That's because you've been indoctrinated on the grape.
Just
We all
leaving
have
Tommy.
been.
Leaving
We all
Tommy
have
hanging.
been led to
sorry.
believe that grape jelly is the GOAT.
Yeah.
And it is a
is.
heavyweight. It is a Muhammad Ali. But I'm telling you, you have others like strawberry and apple who can give you a run around.
I
that
love
ring.
strawberry jelly, but
telling
just
you.
not as much as grape jelly.
Yeah,
Just
that's
not there.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Just letting you know, grape is not alone on the island.
Throw it on your oats from the internet.
Yeah,
Let us know.
throw it on there.
Thank you
Absolutely.
all,
With
thank
some-
you all
with some
for waking up
strawberry.
at 9 in the morning to listen to this.
For Chris B, for Tommy
Damn
Yarrish,
right.
for Josh Rodriguez, for Patrick No C Walker, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long on a Victory Monday. The Cowboys beat the Panthers 30-14. We'll see you tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!